kaliwat kanan. Please take a good look at the person beside you sa kaliwat kanan. Pakisabi lang po sa kanila, ang ganda mo at ang gwapo mo. Pakisabi lang po, ang ganda mo. Ang gwapo mo. Okay, very good. And you know what, for me, what's very important when we do business, it's all about networking. The reason that you're all here right now is, like me, you believe that your network is your net worth. The people whom you get to meet, you might not know, might be your future business collaborator or partner. So for all those here right now who are watching me, seated on your chairs or standing right behind me, do me a quick favor. Can you all please stand up for just a bit? Please stand up. Tayo naman dyan, tayo naman dyan. Tayo dyan, please. And then, for the next 2 minutes, pakibati po yung mga katabi po ninyo. Say hi, greet that person over there. Find out who they are. Lumapit kayo, ikot-ikot mo kayo ng konti dyan. What is your business? Kung may contact nila. Ano contact nila sa Facebook, sa LinkedIn, sa TikTok, sa Bumble, sa Tinder, pakikuha na po. Lahat-lahat na po. Okay, bilis, please, put on the mic. Okay, tapos na tayo. Okay, thank you so much. Take your seats, take your seats. So, this afternoon, I'm going to talk about the secrets of a successful entrepreneur, and I'll talk about what they call the entrepreneurial mindset. So bago lahat, let me give you a brief introduction of myself, no? For those na hindi pa nakakakilala sa akin, next slide please. So ako po si RJ Ledesma. I wear many hats. I wish I had just as many heads. Unang-una sa lahat, nagsimula yung aking business background. Actually, nung ako po ay kabataan pa sa isang entrepreneurial family. But when I started doing business, I began in Procter & Gamble because feeling ko, to become a good businessman, you have to train with the best. And nung panahon ko, Procter & Gamble, when you work in the brand management department, that's one of the best ways to understand the foundations of a business. Ako po yung nag-manage ng Ivory Soap and Shampoo. Kung naalala po ninyo, si Bianca Araneta, siya yung naging modelo dyan. So that's where I worked for many, many years. After that one, I went to take my master's. Next slide, please. And I'm also a professional TV and events host. So yung ginagawa ng host natin kanina, yan talaga yung trabaho ko. I'm also a professional host. I've had many, many years of hosting jobs. By the way, I invite all of you, if you want to watch, please go to my website, www.rjladesma.com, to find out about more of the events that I've hosted. At ako rin po sa mga nakakaalala, ako po si Joey sa Royal True Orange commercial. Sino po nakakaalala niyan? Please raise your hand. Ibig sabihin, matanda na kayo lahat. Matanda na kayo lahat po. Pag hindi nyo alam po, ibig sabihin kayo po ay mga millennial at mga Gen Z. Next slide. And sometimes, I even play an actor. So sa mga nakapanood po ng Can't Buy Me Love, ako po yung naging abogado dyan sa Can't Buy Me Love, if you got to watch that. And I'm also the author of 6 best-selling books. Alam niyo po yung sikreto to have 6 best-selling books? Ipabili mo sa atang nanay mo yung lahat ng libro sa National Bookstore, di ba? Para maging bestseller yung mga libro mo. And on top of that one, I'm sure kanina nakikita niyo yung mga ads ng business manual. Yung business manual, dyan po yung publication ko. I'm the editor-in-chief of that magazine. At sa magazine na yan, marami ko na i-interview ng mga sikat na entrepreneur at mga business owner. Maliban pa dyan, I invite all of you to follow my podcast. You can go online right now. The name of the podcast is kapangalan ko, RJ Ledesma Podcast. You can find it on Facebook, Spotify, or Google Podcasts. And on that podcast, I get to interview the top business owners and entrepreneurs, learn more about their success secrets, and how we, bilang mga entrepreneur, how can we copy, how can we replicate their success secrets? But more importantly, what business opportunities do they see emerging in the near future? And lastly, ako po ay isang serial entrepreneur. Serial, S-E-R-I-A-L. Hindi serial na kinakain po. Kundi ibig sabihin ng serial, mahilig ako magpatayo ng mga negosyo. Kung ibang mga hobby or passion po nila is to play games on their cell phones or mag-TikTok videos, mine is I like putting up businesses. So tatlo po yan. Yung isa po, Mercato Central. Sino po dito who has been to Mercato Central? Ito yung isang kainan, food bazaar. Can you raise your hand if any... Thank you so much sa dalawa dyan sa likod. Binabayaran niyo yung tuition fee ng anak ko. Thank you. Isa naman dyan, Easy Franchised. Tinutulungan po namin yung mga OFWs na mag-invest sa mga franchise businesses sa Pilipinas. At yung EnterPH, yung negosyo na ipinatayo ko to help foreign businesses offshore or outsource to the Philippines. Maraming mga MSME rin, mga SME sa ibang bansa na gustong maglagay ng negosyo sa Pilipinas because we have a very affordable wage, di ba? Very affordable to do have work done in the Philippines. That's quality work, world-class work, but at a more affordable price. Maraming gustong pumasok. So as you can see, I put up many different businesses. Hindi naman lahat maging successful, but I've learned a lot from all of them. And now, having said that, ako ay isang editor-in-chief, ako ay isang host, ako rin po ay isang negosyante, I've interviewed many successful entrepreneurs. Among them, si Jose Magsaysay, business partner ko po. Siya po yung co-founder ng Potato Corner. Isa pa dyan si Injap Sia. Kilala niyo si Injap Sia? Di ba? Nagsimula sa Mang Inasal, binenta sa Jollibee. Ngayon, double dragon yung negosyo niya, di ba? And number 3, si Dennis Anthony Uy. Isang Pampanga-based businessman. Siya po yung napatayo ng Converge. Di ba? And I find that when you talk to all these different business people, there is a common denominator across all of them. And what is this common denominator that I see? Unang-una, yung tinatawag na entrepreneurial mindset. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng entrepreneurial mindset? At I'll show that to you later on. Number 2, I always see that they have a lot of hustle and grit, and I'll explain why. At patlo is they have what you call the growth mindset. So let me explain each of these things for all of you. So unang-una sa lahat, anong ibig sabihin lang ng entrepreneurial mindset? What that just means is that all these business people have a different angle or a different way of viewing the world. The way that we look at the world is different for them. They're always looking for what is the new opportunity that I can find or that I can discover. What is the new thing that I can create? For example, I can often tell the difference between an entrepreneur and a quote-unquote regular person pag sila po ay bumabiyahe. Let's say you come from abroad and you come back to the Philippines. When you come back, you say, hey, regular person, ito yung mga litrato ng kung saan ako kumain, kung anong binisita ko, di ba? That's what they say. What is an entrepreneur like? Pag umuwi siya, sasabihin niya, look at my pictures. Nakita mo yung negosyo na ito? I wonder how I can bring this business back here to the Philippines. He's there looking for new ideas. Do you agree? Di ba? So all of a sudden, what I discovered is this one. An entrepreneurial mindset means that you view the world with an entrepreneurial lens, di ba? Ito sa harap, tatlo to nakasalamin, di ba? What happens kung tanggalin mo yung salamin mo? What happens all of a sudden? Lumalabo, di ba? Lumalabo lahat, di ba? What happens when you wear your glasses, di ba? Things become sharp, they come into focus. It's the same thing when you are an entrepreneur. You see the world through the lens of opportunity. Kunyari, nung nagka-pandemya, what was it like when there was a pandemic? It was very scary because if I took off my entrepreneurial lens and looked at the world from a normal perspective without my eyeglasses, nakakatakot. Kasi may social distancing, may lockdown, at may nadi-disrupt yung supply chain natin, hindi po ba? But what happens when I wear my glasses? What am I seeing? I am not seeing a lockdown. I am seeing what are the business opportunities because of a lockdown? What are the business opportunities because of social distancing? What are the business opportunities because of the disruption in the supply chain? Pag-isipan ninyo, there are so many popular businesses right now, and these people became very, very successful because of the pandemic. They found those business opportunities. Di ba maraming mga content creator? Brilliant Skin, New Moon, Lux Skin. All of these were content creators na because ng pandemya, maraming nanonood sa kanilang mga Facebook, sa kanilang mga Instagram, at all of a sudden, since wala silang mabenta dyan, anong binibenta nila? Health products, beauty products to address issues during the pandemic. And now these are the same people on TikTok, selling on TikTok on 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, making millions of pesos in just a few hours because they turned the pandemic into an opportunity to create business. So, What I want you to all remember is anong trabaho natin bilang entrepreneur? Our job as an entrepreneur is not to be an opinion columnist. Ang ibig sabihin dyan is, it's not our job to say whether a situation is good or bad. That's not our job. Our job as an entrepreneur is to say, what are the opportunities that I can discover in good times and especially during bad times. And the best entrepreneurs find the best opportunities in the worst of times. Do you agree? But that's usually where the opportunities lie. Because people are too scared to move. But instead of fear, you are seeing opportunity. Now, the first step towards developing an entrepreneurial mindset is to ask a lot of questions. And there is one very important question an entrepreneur must ask himself when putting up a potential business. Do you know what that question is? Can anybody guess? Sige, can anybody guess? Be free entrance kayo dito bukas. Sino, can anybody guess? One question kayo. What do you think is the question an entrepreneur must ask himself bago itayo yung kanyang negosyo? How can I create value? That's nice. I like that. How can I create value? It's correct. I'm going to go a bit more deeper into that one. Kayo po, what do you think? Any question you must ask yourself? O, di ba parang, kikita ba yung negosyo na ito? Di ba? So, let me give you a clue. I'm sure many of you also watch Shark Tank, right? You watch Shark Tank on cable, or if you've ever watched a startup competition. You know what a startup pitching competition is? It's when yung mga startup companies, yung mga gumagawa ng mga app, di ba? If they're asking for investors, they will go pitch in front of 5 judges. They will pitch their product in front of 5 judges. And usually, the first question the judge will ask him is this question. He will ask him the question, what problem is your business trying to solve? If there's one thing that I want you to go home after this discussion, is to always carry that question in your mind if you are an entrepreneur. What problem is my business trying to solve? If you want a business that is sustainable, that is long-lasting, it must solve a problem. Because for entrepreneurs, like I said, diba, in the worst times, that's when you come up with a business. Because problems for entrepreneurs are pain points. Pain points are business opportunities in disguise. Because for us, I often say, di ba, your irritation is your inspiration for doing business. Kung ako ay naiirita sa isang bagay at ikaw rin ay naiirita sa isang bagay, if I am able to solve our common irritation, dyan ako kikita ng pera. Di ba? So for example, what is the biggest problem that we have living here in Metro Manila? Biggest irritation? Traffic, right? So what do people create because of traffic? They created things like, first of all, directional apps, Waze or Google Maps. And they also did what? Ride-sharing services, right? Like Angkas, like Move It, all these different things were developed because it's solving a problem, right? And that's how they think about it. So the best entrepreneurs, they can see an opportunity that nobody else sees, or they see an opportunity to solve a problem that nobody is really bothered to solve well enough, di ba? Nung ginawa yung Angkas, usong-usa pa yung habal-habal, di ba? Right before that one. But they said there is an opportunity to have legitimized this motorcycle taxi business and make it bigger. They saw an opportunity there that nobody wanted to tap before. And now that they've tapped it, they are the top in the market. The other thing that I also see is karamihan sa mga entrepreneur, visionary. Because if you are able to identify a problem that you want to solve and you are passionate about solving that problem, what happens? You get to hire people to work together with you even kung wala ka pang bayad sa kanila. Di ba? Because they believe in your vision. Remember Jack Ma, when he put up Alibaba, his secretary believed in him nung wala pa siyang pera. So what did he give the secretary instead of giving her money? He gave her stock options. Eh ngayon, milyonaryo, bilyonaryo pa yung kanyang sekretarya because they believed in the vision of what Jack Ma was trying to do. So often I tell people that if you are a visionary leader, if you really believe in the vision of your entrepreneurship, that you're really solving a problem that you're passionate about, you will get people to work together with you and you can enroll them in pursuing your vision. So that's number one. Number one is that you have that entrepreneurial mindset. Number two, it's okay to have an entrepreneurial mindset. Lahat na tayo bilang entrepreneur, matalino naman tayo lahat. But the question is, what do you do with that good idea? Kung hanggang idea lang yan, kung ideya lang yan, and you don't do anything about it, parang thesis lang yan or homework, di ba? It doesn't get anywhere. So the next job that you want to do is, you want to see, can you actually execute that idea of the business? And to execute it is another concern. That's what I call the hustle mindset. You have to go out and want to develop that idea. Ako po, I work a lot with the startup industry here in the Philippines. Yung mga startup, yan yung mga tao, kagaya natin lahat. They have a good idea about putting up an app or a business. But to put it together, kahit wala sila, they don't know how to program, they don't know how to code, they don't have the money, they don't have the resources, but they have really great ideas. What do? They go around, they join mga competitions, they sign up for mga startup incubator programs para matuto sila. They have what you call the hustle to bring their idea to life because they believe passionately that they are solving a problem. These are the guys who got what I call a go-getter attitude. Many of the successful apps that I've seen here in the Philippines that people have invested into, these people are not experts in what they do. But they've got really great ideas that they want to bring into motion. They work very hard at what they do at madiskarte sila. You know what? Many of them, sometimes they have 500,000 pesos to run the business for 6 months with 30 employees. Hindi nila alam kung saan nila kukunin yung pera nila para ituloy yung negosyo nila. But they have a strong belief that they can do it. Every day walang ginagawa kundi i-market yung app nila para dumami yung kanilang mga followers at kumuha ng mga investors because that is the hustle mentality. That's a hustler mentality when you have to go out, make connections, get businesses. That's why you're here in PhilSME. Your job right now is to hustle, make connections, get connections. And the next thing I want to remind people is that a hustler doesn't feel entitled. Ano ibig sabihin ng entitlement, di ba? It feels that you deserve something even if you don't. Sometimes some people here in the Philippines think, dahil ako graduate mula sa top 3 university, dahil ako ay isang inhinyero, dahil ako ay isang abogado, this job is beneath me. I can't do this type of work. Di ba? But the thing is, if you feel entitled, you say, don't worry, success will come to me because I am this person. It's not going to come to you. You have to go out and get it yourself. A prime example of that one is David Almirol, the founder of Multisys Technology Corporation. See, David Almirol right now is the Undersecretary for the DICT, Department of Technology. Now, before that one, he graduated from the University of the Cordilleras, computer science. Really, really brilliant guy. His first job as an OFW, he thought would be a computer programmer, I think in Afghanistan. And when he went there to work, nalaman niya yung trabaho niya is what? Hindi bilang computer programmer, kundi bilang janitor pala. And he came there as a janitor. He said, I'll do the best janitor job that I can. And when he did that one, nakita rin ng mga tauhan dyan, nagaling siya ma-program. So eventually, because the personnel kept on coming in and out, they made him the prime guy to fix up their computer programs over there. Eventually, because he was very good, after he was done with his OFW work, he came back to the Philippines. He established Multisys. He was one person who was able to create an app for the Department of Justice that nobody else could do, right? And he did that app. And eventually, he worked hard in getting more and more government jobs until he built up Multisys into a big corporation that was bought out by PLDT for 50% at 2 billion pesos. And this guy didn't feel entitled. He didn't come from a name school. He didn't have a great job. But they are tenacious. They went out to get the work. Now, the next thing I want to remind people, hustle is all about having grit. What is grit? Ano ibig sabihin ng grit? Have you guys heard the word grit? Grit means it's one of the leading determinants of the success of people. Grit is not about having talent or intelligence. There was a book called Grit nga by a woman named Angela Duckworth. And I had the chance before to interview her on Zoom for a conference here in the Philippines. And she explained to me something about grit. Grit means, the ability to succeed amidst adversity. Sabi niya, the most successful people in life are not necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent people. Pag-isipan nga natin, look at your own batchmates sa mga klase ninyo. Yung mga valedictorian ba ng mga batch ninyo, sila ba yung pinaka-successful sa inyo? Usually not, di ba? Sino pa yung maging mas pinaka-successful sa inyo? Yung mga kapit sa patalim, yung babaksak na sana, di ba? Or bumaksak nag-repeat pa. Bakit? Because sila yung may diskarte, sila yung street smart. Di ba? So, grit is not about smart, being intelligent or being smart. Grit is the passion, the resilience, yung katatagan, and kakulitan, sustained persistence to get the job done despite adversity. For an entrepreneur, his ability to endure adversity becomes his greatest ally. Ako po ay maraming ng negosyo na pinagdaanan. And it's when you are tested in the business, when it fails, I continue to run a business called Mercato Central. One time, binayaran po namin yung tent na pinapagawa namin, cost about 3 million pesos. And then because of a typhoon, it collapsed after I paid it. I had no insurance for the tent, but I had to continue running the business the following day. So kahit wala na kaming kita, I had to restart the business. I had to do it again. But that's where you learn how it's like to be an entrepreneur because you develop the grit to succeed. And to be gritty about business is that you need to know your why. Mahirap maging matatag sa negosyo ninyo. Mahirap ipursigi yung mahirap sa negosyo ninyo if you don't know your why. There's another book by Simon Sinek called Know Your Why. Yung ibig sabihin ng Know Your Why is, what is the higher purpose for your business? What makes it meaningful for you in the end? Kasi kung mahirap na, you say, give up na lang ako, di ba? But what makes you want to stay and persist in doing your business? That's your why. Kunyari ako ulit, yung negosyo ko is Mercato Central. Ito po ay isang food market. Pero maliban sa pagiging isang food market, for me, it is a small food business incubator. Tinutulungan ko yung mga maliliit na negosyante na palakihin at palaguin yung mga negosyo nila because every time that you come to my business, you're not just supporting my business, you are supporting the livelihood of the people who work for my business. That's how I feel about it. And that's why during the pandemic, kahit nagsara lahat ng mga public places, we tried to find employment for them because for me, that was my why. That's my North Star. So when you put up your business, what is the why that will keep you going through good times and especially during bad times? Now, the last one. We talked about entrepreneurial mindset. We talked about hustle and grit. And the third most important thing when it comes to entrepreneurship is how do entrepreneurs view the idea of failure? That's very interesting. Let me tell you this one. Anybody here who does insurance? Anybody who does insurance, di ba? In insurance, there's what you call the $1 Million Round Table Club, right? And that's for people who sell insurance policies of at least $1 million or more per year. Yan yung mga pinapadala sa Switzerland, sa Monaco as their travel incentive. So one time, I was hosting an event and I had the opportunity to have a discussion with all the top sellers ng insurance. And I was so amazed. Sabi ko, ano yung lumalabas na magic words sa mga bibig ninyo na napapa-oo mo lahat mga kliyente ninyo. Diba? I'm sure nobody says no to you anymore. And it's amazing what they told me. They said to me, RJ, up to now, people still say no to us. But do I feel bad for myself? No. I feel bad for them. Why? Because I'm offering them something that will improve their lives. Ayaw nila tanggapin. It's not my loss, it's their loss. But I learned something very important from that discussion with them. I learned another way that somebody says no to me. So the next time I encounter exactly the same rejection, I know how to properly address that question. So for him, it wasn't really failure. It was just another way towards success. And that's how entrepreneurs view failure. In fact, they call it fail fast, fail forward. When you look at the startup industry, did you know that many of the apps that are released on your cell phones, some of them are not yet even complete. They call it the minimum viable product, MVP. Ibig sabihin, pag pinapalabas pa dyan, may konting bugs, alam ng mga developer na hindi pa ayos masyado yung app. Bakit? Because they want you to test it, they want you to fail, they want you to get angry to see, ito pala yung problema ng app na yan. So ayusin namin dito, ayusin namin dito, ayusin namin dito para gumanda yung pagkatakbo ng app. Di ba, even up to now, di ba, you still get updates on your app. Why? Because there are still points of failure for that app and they want to continue improving it. That's exactly how an entrepreneur thinks, that failures are just a way towards success. I'm going to move a bit quickly. The biggest lesson for us as entrepreneurs is that it doesn't matter how big or how small you will fail. There's no question the business, you will fail. But personal yung failure ninyo. Failing in business is not failing in life. Okay? I had to learn that one. But more importantly, it will teach you to be humble. Diba? After learning being humble, many entrepreneurs, we actually wear our failure like badges of honor. Marami yung negosyo na markets ko have become successful, hindi naging successful. And people ask me, ba't ka magtatrabaho kasama ni RJ? Kasi nag-fail siya sa negosyo. Dahil fail everywhere else. If you don't know, I laugh at people, or not I laugh, no, but rather I say, if somebody says, I won't work with you because you failed, then they've never been an entrepreneur before, di ba? An entrepreneur is somebody who's proud of the failures that he's had because he's learned from them. I'm able to do business right now better because I've failed in the past. And failure is all part of what we call the growth mindset. When you have a growth mindset, well, a fixed mindset just means that you believe in certain things. You believe that I was born this way. My skill set was born this way. Hindi ako magaling sa negosyo, hindi ako magaling sa math, hindi ako magaling sa sales. But growth mindset just means that you believe that you can get better with practice and determination. Kasi yung mind natin is just like a muscle. The more we exercise it, the better we get, the stronger we get in what we do. And if you believe in the growth mindset, you don't say, baksak na yung negosyo ko ngayon, ayoko na magnegosyo. I am learning from my mistakes and I'm going to get better in business. That's the growth mindset. And when you have the type of mindset, you know you'll become successful because you are resourceful and adaptable. I'm going to skip this part only to make it a bit faster for you guys. But don't worry, I've got a lot to share with you that's very interesting. Now, it's important. There we go. It's very important that we have all these different mindsets. Entrep mindset, hustle and grit, and last bit, growth. Because doing business nowadays is very challenging because we do business in the new normal. And disruption is the new normal in business. In business, disruption is called, next slide please, disruptive innovation. Ang ibig sabihin yan, technology is disrupting the way that we are doing business. It's not a question of if technology will disrupt you, it's when technology will disrupt you. What business disrupted the taxi industry? Grab, right? Or other industries. What disrupted the hotel industry? Airbnb. What's disrupting the banking industry? GCash. So the question is that with all these different businesses, the interesting thing is for us entrepreneurs, all these big businesses or many of these disruptive innovations, hindi yan ginawa ng mga malalaking kumpanya. They were made by people like you and me who are also just irritated and want to create a good idea and bring it to life. So either you will be the disruptor or you will be disrupted. Who do you want to be? The disruptor or the disrupted? Siyempre, gusto mo maging disruptor ng mga negosyo. Okay? We're going to move forward lang a bit. Okay. There we go. I'm going to leave you with a couple of thoughts. Number one is, remember like I said earlier on, in every great crisis is an opportunity. The Chinese have a saying for that, yung Wei Ji. First one means crisis, next one means opportunity. Always try to look for business in crisis. Do you guys agree? That's the first place that you look. That's why the Philippines is a great place to do business because Maraming crisis sa Pilipinas. Climate change, political crisis, traffic crisis, a lot of problems to solve, a lot of opportunities to make money. Now, the last one I'll leave you with is this one. One slide back, please. There. The last thing to be an entrepreneur is that you need to be an innovator. Entrepreneurs are innovators. Remember, entrepreneurs don't see problems. What entrepreneurs see are business opportunities that you can uniquely solve because may nakita ka na hindi nakikita ibang tao. Because of how you were educated, because of how you were trained, because of where you work, you have a unique way of solving a problem. But that unique way that you're solving the problem, that is what innovation is. Innovation is your unique way na hindi pwedeng gayahin ng ibang tao of how you were able to solve a problem. Okay? That is what we call sa marketing, your unique selling proposition or your competitive advantage. Para sa akin, dahil yung negosyo ko is food, yan yung secret sauce ninyo. Di ba? So just to close it, I'll explain very carefully. Unang-una, ito yung tinatawag ko ways to success, W-A-Z-E, ways to success. If you want to put up a business that you want to be long-term and sustainable, number one, what pain point is your business trying to solve, right? After that one, what makes the way that you want to solve that problem unique and innovative na hindi madaling kopyahin ng ibang tao? Yan yung secret sauce ninyo. Kunyari kung kayo po ay gutom at gusto niyo mag-fried chicken, bakit kayo kakain sa KFC imbis sa ibang mga fried chicken restaurant? What do they have that nobody else has? The secret sauce. Yung kanilang only gravy, di ba? Yung sausawan nila. Di ba? Hindi ba inuulam na yung gravy nila? Because it's unique to them, but that's their secret sauce. And they're able to do it better than other people. So when you put up a business, you want to know ano ang secret sauce na negosyo ninyo. What is your access to a specific product, or a specific service, a specific skill, a specific network na nagagawa ninyo? Na hindi ka nagagawa ng ibang tao, that is your secret sauce to business. And last but not the least, what makes your business meaningful and relevant to you and your customers na hindi pwedeng gawin sa ibang tao? Last example, mahilig ako magkape. Okay? Kunyari pupunta ako sa supermarket, there are two brands of coffee beans in front of me. Coffee bean A, pure Arabica. Coffee bean B, pure Arabica. Same process. But all of a sudden, it says sa coffee bean B, whenever you buy beans from me, we will support Cordillera community, mga lumad, to put up a school. Saan ka pa pupunta? Dito, di ba? Kasi especially for Gen Zs and millennials, when they make that purchase decision, they want to make sure that in a small little way, that purchase decision is helping improve or better the world. Right? So for me, these are the secrets nowadays of our successful entrepreneurs. Next slide, please. And I invite all of you, if you enjoyed my talk here this afternoon, please feel free to follow me online. Again, please take out your cell phones right now. Please follow me online. Most importantly, please follow me on Instagram. That's RJ Ledesma on Instagram. RJ Ledesma Facebook. RJ Ledesma on TikTok. And please follow my podcast if you want to hear really great entrepreneurs to help you grow your business. That is the RJ Ledesma podcast. Again, maraming salamat ulit sa lahat ng dumulo dito sa PhilSME Business Expo. I look forward to seeing you become the next big entrepreneur. Maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Thank you.